Speaker is Linda Maxey. In 1989, when Linda Myers Maxey graduated from Purdue University in agricultural education, gasoline was 97 cents a gallon. The average price of a home was $120,000. The average income was $27,450, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed the year at 2,753. And postage stamps were all the way up to 25 cents. Our 1989 graduate era speaker, Linda Myers Maxey. Thank you.
Well, I think when I took on this gig, I didn't know I was going to follow Leon Crow. And I think the time limit was already, up, so whatever. Thank you, Dan, and thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I believe that our generation had much thanks to give to this previous generation of ag teachers. Most of us had ag teachers who inspired us, who pushed us, who opened doors for us, and we wanted to continue that same legacy and do those things for other students, all while showing our love for agriculture. Now, as I recall, a story, it happened late the summer of 1989, when a girl and her father were enjoying a dinner, or at a local diner, lunch, when the bank president came in. The bank president joined them for lunch, and the pair commenced talking about the local news for the day. The conversation led to the father asking the bank president, "Hey, did you hear who they hired in the adjoining town as the ag teacher? Did you hear that?" And the bank president said, "No, who did they hire?" Well, the dad said, you didn't hear who they hired? And he said, "No, what's his name?" And the dad kept questioning and was joking because the dad knew and the bank president hadn't known yet. So after letting the bank president try to guess and the dad get his kicks, I reached my hand across the table and I introduced myself as the new ag teacher at Crothersville Junior Senior High School. Without that bank president looking too shocked, he congratulated me, and he couldn't believe that a female was hired into a predominantly male position, especially in such a conservative Southern Indiana school. Now, many of you may know that that dad that was sitting across the table from me was also my father. And my dad graduated from Purdue University in 1959, and he taught agriculture at Brownstown Central High School for 34 years. He, like other ag teachers of that era, obviously didn't hesitate to encourage the female gender. They took that chance, and they saw the potential that was sitting in the classrooms and encouraged them to be ag teachers. Now, when I began my teaching career, there were only about 10 female ag teachers across the state of Indiana who had active FFA chapters. But when I got to Purdue, my graduating class was closer to 50-50, and the era of hiring a female ag teacher began. In my 25 years of teaching, I can't tell you that it's all been peaches and cream, but I can tell you that the obstacles that I faced were challenges that any gender would have had to overcome. Today, with the popularity of females in agriculture education, I hope that we have surpassed the female part, and we are all just called ag teachers of Indiana. Now, we have come to the part where, what did we do in our era? And we were the hands-on projects people. So I had a landscape management class. And I'm sitting back here with Jeff Hardesty, who has his own landscape business, and Jeff can tell you that there are basically 3 areas that we teach in landscape class. That is the public area, the private area, and the service area. And my hands-on project was we took a pop box flat, turned it upside down, we took empty milk cartons, that we used those for our houses, and we had different things that we designed, shrubs and plant material. I had the school board president's daughter that was a senior sitting just to the left of my desk, and I had my advisory board member's freshman student. He was sitting over to the right of the class. So after the projects were all made, I asked each one of them to get up and give a presentation about their project. So she got up and she said, "This is my house, and this is what I've used to design my public area, and this is what I've used to design my service area, and this is what I've used to design my private area." The freshman student, young, got up in front of the class, very timid, and he said, "Well, I put my house closer to the back of the box." He said, "The front of the house is designed with using these things for the public area. The side of the house, these are the things that I've used to design the service area. But I don't have a whole lot of things in my private area." And the school board member's daughter looked at me. I looked at her thinking, did everybody just understand what he said? He had no clue. Her and I looked at each other, made the eye contact. I threw the papers up in the air. Needless to say, we talked about the real, what we were supposed to be doing. So it was a very interesting lesson. Since being asked to speak here tonight, I have spoke to a few of my fellow classmates about some things that they might have remembered here at Purdue. Some of them talked about the tractor pulls that were here. Others mentioned going to National FFA Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. Others talked about when Dr. Hamilton showed us how to use a camera. Some of them spoke about the strategic, ever popular places that we would hold meetings. But it seems that everyone spoke of the methods class that Dr. Peters taught us. He would have us prepare lessons and then present them to our class. Little did we know that he would rig the classroom or the students in practical scenarios that we could potentially occur in our classroom. At one point, while presenting a lesson, one of our members were so engaged in what we were doing that we didn't realize that Dr. Peters had also challenged the rest of the class to see how many of us could escape from the room. As I recall, in that very narrow room of education building, I believe that we had about half of the back row that escaped the room. It was those real life situations that Dr. Peters and Purdue prepared for us. Now, because I teach in Southern Indiana, far away from this West Lafayette campus, Purdue didn't stop continuing education for us. Dr. Peters organized classes called Seminar on Wheels. At that time, those week-long classes took bus tours of neighboring states to visit agriculture businesses and award-winning agriculture departments. I was looking to take a class to update my license, so I thought I'd sign up for a class, looking forward to traveling to a nearby state to see this agriculture. Little did I know that this Southern Indiana girl would be traveling back to Southern Indiana for a road trip that summer. I thought I knew everything there was about the rolling hills from where I was from, and I soon found out that I was wrong. We toured some fantastic agriculture businesses that summer, and I went and made great contacts that I still utilize today. So with that, I'm proud to say that I've been an ag teacher for 25 years, and I see that that girl power is strong. And speaking of girl power, along with the drive from my father, came the steadfast and continuing encouragement from my mother. With all the extra hours that ag teachers put in, we need to recognize the efforts of our family, and I want to thank my mom today for that continued support. I'm proud to say that I'm a Purdue University alumni, and I wouldn't make this complete if I didn't recognize my son Derek. As a Purdue fan that has to defend his ground to a math teacher that graduated from a school just south of here, and to my daughter Denise, who will be a freshman this fall and will start the third generation of Purdue graduates from our family. So with that, thanks for letting me speak tonight and to be a part of this wonderful celebration.